my name is Savannah Ransom. I'm a first-year student at UNC Chapel Hill. I've had the privilege of taking Dr. Price's Blackness and Racialization course as my first-year seminar, and if I were given the opportunity, I would gladly take it again. Before delving into this class, my perception of race did align with the notion that race correlates to genetics. For context, about 2 years ago, I moved from Atlanta, Georgia to Goldsboro, North Carolina. In Atlanta, I went to Campbell High School where there was a variety of readily accessible resources and opportunities for students. Campbell High School offered the IB program, more than 20 plus AP courses, and a career technical and agricultural education career pathway. Compared to the school that I moved to, Goldsboro High School, where students were offered a mere 2 AP courses, AP Lang and AP Lit, my senior year we offered no AP courses because there was no teachers available to teach them. If you did want to take an AP course, you had to go through NCDPS to take one. We also offered few honors courses, which also depended on what teachers we had available. Additionally, Goldsboro High School was and still is a severely underfunded school where we are eligible to receive Title I funding. If you hadn't already guessed, Goldsboro High School is a predominantly black school where we receive way less funding compared to our counterpart, Wayne School of Engineering, which is a school literally right next door to us, and their minority enrollment is about 39%. However, they receive more funding than we do. And I'll touch on this more in my key takeaways. There was honestly so much that I learned from this course, but here are my 5 main takeaways. Number 1, definitions of race and racism are not the same. Early race theories trace racism to ancient times, not just our modern concept. Each theory gives explanation to racial categories. Initially based on religion, these focuses shifted to climate and geography, to now in modern times where science explains the concept of race. Often, racism was justified to preserve the institution of slavery through religion and Christianity. For example, in the book of Genesis, the curse of Ham led to a widely accepted doctrine that Noah's sons could be divided into different racial categories. The belief that Noah blessed the descendants of Shem and Japheth, but cursed the descendants of Ham, contributed to the perceived inferiority of black people and also justified enslavement. Number 2, throughout the course, I learned that institutions are produced to maintain racial inequalities, racism, and racialization. Institutional practices have systematically excluded Black Americans from the same opportunities and privileges white Americans have. Black Americans are often placed in environments that promote social and economic inequality. Practices like rent spiking continue to keep Black people at the lower caste of society. From a systemic standpoint, redlining has separated Black Americans to impoverished and regulated areas of the country, leaving many unable to buy homes in areas with lower crime rates and better educational systems. Number 3, shared meanings and definitions create race, not biology. Believe it or not, physical appearance is irrelevant. The belief in racial difference can exist even if there is no apparent difference in physical appearance. According to Austin Algernon in Making Races, race is a belief in the embodiment of culture, then that race is the recognition of difference in physical appearance. Number 4, we learned about the major models and theories for analyzing and explaining race. In my opinion, the most important one is critical race theory. CRT examines the historical, economic, and structural factors involved in race. CRT also explains how these factors perpetuate racial disparities even in the absence of overt discrimination. The purpose of putting critical race theory in schools is not to teach children, specifically white children, that they are inherently racist. CRT aims to show that all history should be taught regardless of race. Racism is not merely a relic from the past. Number 5. While this course focuses on the category of Blackness within the United States, I found that to understand any racial formation, one needs to understand whiteness itself as a racial formation. Historically, whiteness has gone unexamined to the point where it has rendered itself invisible, which has become the representation for all humankind. To effectively redesign systems of oppression and racial dominance, we must equip people to understand the unseen dimensions of white privilege. Here are my key takeaways. Examining Blackness and racialization from a multidimensional approach has allowed me to think more critically and apply it to everyday life. I was aware that since I came from a predominantly Black high school to now a predominantly white institution, it would be an adjustment and I would have to find community. I've joined organizations like Historically Black at UNC, which is a journalism and media hub aiming to bridge the gap of information to students of color, specifically Black students. Even during discussions like the Story Circle has curated a safe space for me. Taking it back home, I'm now able to see the inequities and disparities in Wayne County's educational system. There was a call to action in 2022 about the condition of Goldsboro High School, and I can even speak for myself that the building was in no good condition, falling apart, and just not a safe environment for students. However, the Board of Education refuted that Goldsboro High School was a historic building, so they could do nothing about it. As of recent, Goldsboro High School was moved to a smaller building, actually Wayne School of Engineering's building, while they moved to a bigger school. And the Board of Education rationale was that they needed to move offices in our building for staff. And 67 has deepened my commitment and passion for becoming a leader and advocate for addressing racial inequality in educational systems. Thank you for watching. Bye!